Is this a politics of convenience? Is it just waking up when it suits you and to just continue doing one's business when it doesn't suit your politics and your politics of convenience?
No, not at all. These are just mere speculation and allegation by the political opposition. First and foremost, what we must all acknowledge as citizens of this country is the broader picture and not dilute the issue to a movie, an actor, or blame game politics for the purpose of sensationalization. It is purely tragic that hundreds and hundreds of trees in the heart of the city of Bengaluru have been mercilessly felled for unlawful gain. Bengaluru has lost today massive lung space, and it is deplorable, it is condemnable, and it is shameful. As a grieving citizen, I fail to understand how this matter is being politicized by the opposition parties. Whereas, on the contrary, we must all come together, both state and center. We must fight in unison and ensure that the perpetrators of the crime are brought to the books and are brought to justice, irrespective of whether it is the actor, whether it is a cinema house, whether it is a PSU, or even for that matter, the government and its officials, especially when the point or the position of law is settled by the Supreme Court of India and all the other high courts, that protection of environment is more important than protecting civil rights. Now, if I may delve into the merits of the matter for just a moment.
Let me just ask you this question, and this is not very long back. This is just, say, 2 months back, 3 months back, where 2,000 residents lodged a protest. They wrote letters after letters against the proposed cutting down of 33,000 trees.
Yes.
To facilitate the Bengaluru suburban railway project. What happened with that?
No, see, certain times the government takes action for the purpose of development, for the purpose of infrastructure and whatnot. If I may delve into the merits of this particular issue at hand, what happened is we have to question the title, ownership, and classification of the lands in questions. And there seem to be two conflicting insinuations. One, that the HMT claims it to be private land. Secondly, that the state government is classifying it to be as reserved forest area. And on perusal of records which are available on the public domain...
you started with saying, let's look at the broader picture. Yeah. There is no doubt that the allegations of trees being felled at HMT are very serious.
It's very serious.
Both the state and the centre have to take very strong actions. There's no doubt about that. But my question is this a politics of convenience?
No, I don't
that there is a star involved, there's HMT involved, go down very heavily, say what's happened, get the satellite imagery and say there's trees being felled. But what happens in the rest of the cases? Is such a hard line taken in other cases also? If yes, well and good. But please tell us that such hard lines are taken in other cases as well.
Such hard lines must be taken in all cases. Now, in this particular case, HMT has allowed or given permission for felling of hundreds and hundreds of trees. This is a land that is classified or notified and demarcated as reserved forest area. Such forest land cannot be sold, cannot be granted, cannot be acquired, gifted, or transferred in any way or fashion. And the Supreme Court has held that once a forest, always a forest. And for the HMT now to claim ownership over the property and sublet it, subrent it for various other purposes, including cinema, is condemnable. And moreover, they have gone and extended their limb and they've felled off thousands of trees. This is a matter that requires investigation, and I think the current government of Karnataka has taken more than enough steps.
Certainly, it requires investigation. In fact, I do hope we'll have Mr. Joseph Hoover very quickly. I believe his line has been disconnected. Let's just, if my team could try and connect with him. But let me just come to you at this point. Ms. Surabhi, you've heard Mr. Shathabish speak, but my question really is, now you have said, what was the state government doing till now? The question is also, what was the centre doing right till now? Again, the same question that I asked him. At a time when loss of forest cover is not only an issue with... Okay, I'm being told that Mr. Joseph joins us. So allow me to just very quickly go to him. Mr. Joseph Hoover, I was talking to both of our panelists, one representing the BJP, one representing the Congress. There's back and forth of political blame game. That's very much expected. But Mr. Joseph Hoover, could you put this in context for us? When you hear of hundreds and hundreds of forest cover trees being felled, as is alleged in an area that is under HMT as of now, just how serious is this, and how severe is really this whole challenge of dealing with felling of trees, forest cover in Bengaluru for that matter? I'm talking particularly about Bengaluru.
See, there's a report saying that we have lost almost about 88% of our tree cover for the last 4 decades. When we are in such a scenario, and more importantly, when we are in a climate crisis, extreme climate events are hammering us. And Bangalore's climate temperature went up to about 41.8 degrees during the summer. There was no water to drink. And then now we have had excess rains, and we're all struggling with the battering from the heavens. When at a time like this, it is nothing but the work of eco-terrorists. This is an act of eco-terrorism in destroying so many trees. We cannot be pardoned. The political parties might be throwing punches at each other. Whether they are potato party or tomato party doesn't matter. But here the question of losing hundreds of trees. So I condemn this. And whoever did this, they lack common sense. They should be immediately arrested. They should be termed as eco-terrorists in all our channels. They should be named and shamed. So until that is done, this will continue because that area is a forest land that is not denotified as yet. As our forest minister has rightly
That's
said,
right.
a forest is a forest until it is denotified. It is similarly, it was with the lake. A lake is a lake always as per the Supreme Court orders. And if people are going to be saying that there is no support for our film industry and some BJP is saying, no, that is the responsibility of the forest minister and the Congress is saying this is that doesn't hold water anymore. Here we are in a crisis.
Okay.
There was no right for anybody to even touch one tree, let alone hundreds of trees. So it's pathetic.